It's always like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because in this video we are going to take a close look at the game box called the S905x3. Yeah, so it's basically called also the H6 4K game box. The logo I have seen before, it's a different company from China that makes these emulation boxes with NMEALEC. But take consideration the 4K Ultra HD, it's not like having an output of 4K, you need to be happy that it has like 1080p at least. But I've reviewed all kinds of models, and this is S905x3. For the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, this is a chipset they're using that has a lot of potential. Also the model is quite interesting because you can basically put it on top of your monitor. Inside the box we're going to get not a lot of stuff, we're going to get ourselves the box itself, and this is what I mean. This is the white edition. We have all kinds of versions when it comes to colors, but also sizes. It's a very interesting concept, and yeah, already mentioned, you're going to put it on top, or you can basically put it on the bottom part of your monitor, and this is very compact and a very cool design. With previous videos we also complained or talked about and sniffed with the chemical controls they're giving you. Most of them are like PlayStation 2 controllers, but this is like the Xbox 360, only different. It works on two AAA batteries, and then of course we have the option to plug in with a dongle over here. We're only going to need, I think, one dongle. I can't get it out, but you're getting the point. The controller itself weighs quite light, and yeah, and overall it does feel slightly cheaper than the original Xbox 360 controller, but it does have not like the cheap feel. Especially when it comes to the A, B, X, Y buttons, they feel quite nice. We do have cool click each micro switch. Yeah, let's say that's more like a cheap feel to it, but like the trigger buttons, and overall not a bad quality. Especially while you're looking at the joysticks, they have this very nice rubber compound around them that gives you an extra grip when playing with them. And also the D-pad, there's an okay travel, there's a little bit of cheap feel to it, but in overall not bad at all. And inside the box they provide us with, of course, the toilet paper manual with not a lot of information on it. Yeah, also showing you the different version they have released, and of course the HDMI and the Type-C cable. But there is no power supply, because you're going to need 5 volts for a separate power supply, which is 2 amp, or maybe use one from your television. The system itself has an input for the Type-C, 2 USB 2.0 port for the controllers, an HDMI out, and then we have here the option to add your SD card. They're giving me this time in 64GB, not really a brand like SanDisk or Samsung. So I'm always saying, come on man, back these things up if you want to be safe. Because if the SD card crashes for some reason, you always have a backup. But let's take a close look at the software itself. So this is not your typical EmuALEC/TV Android box that they made. This is something unique, beside the point that you can put this thing on top of your television. I think it looks pretty cool, and maybe this will be one of these boxes that you can use very often. And yeah, and I'll have this box in the way, and it doesn't look that bad anyway. Alright, so let's take a close look at the software itself. It's a typical software that I've seen before, only slightly different and not in a good way. So at the right part, what you can see over here, we do have the naming, but it scrolls from left to right, and it's a little bit of a difficult thing to read and search for your game, simply because not everything has been displayed. For example, having here F0X. So F0X is a short name, so you can read it, but say all the other ones, you need to wait for it to start scrolling. A little bit of a bummer. So next up we do have history, or basically what you have played before. Then we have the collection, says fire, or better said the favorites. We do have the search function. Let's see how this actually works. Let's see how this works. It works a little bit slow in my opinion. Alright. And then we do have the category, and here we have a quick overview of what we can play with it. They're even freaking 3 pages. Or that's about a saying. There it is. And let's take a close look, what can we play? Okay, so the first page we have PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 1 and 64, Game Boy Classic, MAME, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Classic, the Mega Drive or Genesis. Then we have Super Famicom, Atari 2600, 7800. Then we have Mega Drive, Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket. So even PC Engine in here, and I have another SNES. I think there's a problem with basically double SNES list, but they're different regions. So it's a little bit confusing and a little bit messy. But what is interesting, pressing select in the main menu brings you to the settings. So here we can change out the freaking language to begin with. So the weird thing is it has been set to English, but there's even some European languages and Dutch, Deutsch, kind of interesting to be honest. But the only thing I have noticed, you see the bottom row over there still has been set to not English. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But another thing I do like is view native files, so you can just mess around with it. Don't do that too much. If you delete something, you mess it up. Here you can change out the sound effects. I'm going to put it on mute. The thing is, like, we do have full screen and equal scale mode, or nevertheless, we do have original aspect ratio. That we're going to set it on because I want to see if that works. About the native information or the system information. So this is basically the first version they've released. Okay, so let's go to the exit setup and let's see what we're going to get with some gameplay. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to boot up is PlayStation Portable. You can see, like, somehow it doesn't always shows it, but it seems to be showing the on-screen input. Press the mode button. Here we can go to settings. Frame skip has been set to 1, what you can see over here. I'm not surprised because these things are too underpowered for playing it on full speed. But let's see if we can get rid of the freaking, like, yeah, show FPS counter, please. That's also something I wanted to do. And let's see if I can go into the controls and change out that we can get rid of the on-screen controls. Yep, there he is. Alright, continue. And there we have it. Alright, so let's take a close look at some gameplay. There is no music. Kind of interesting. This is the first time actually that I don't have this game with some music. Okay, so we do have like 30 FPS. Alright, so let's see how far it drops down. 22. Yeah, so you know, these boxes are not great to place on PlayStation Portable. There will be games playable, but... And this is even like trading stage. If you're going to get a stage with a lot of stuff going on in the background, you're going to have like pretty now horrible emulation performance. But take consideration, I'm playing two-dimensional games. There are some games that will run okay. Okay guys, so next up let's play some PlayStation 1. And I must say, like, these devices are more than powerful enough to run PlayStation 1. Doesn't matter what you throw at it, this is done Wipeout. But basically if you're going to get yourself on Body Roar 2, if you configure it correctly with the right emulator, it works just fine. Downside is there is no background music and didn't shut it down, it was like as is. And the only thing I do is like put a different file on it. Because this is something they also do, like removing the soundtracks. Maybe it's dual space. They're thinking like slap up the games without music, save some games space and just add some new games to it. It's kind of interesting to see like they doing this all the freaking time. Pressing the mode button, what you're going to get is an option to have a quick load, quick save over here. Mess around with the controls, because this is basically running on the same software that we've seen before with a Powkiddy mini arcade machine. Okay, so next up, N64. But even this is an S905x3, it's not powerful enough to run every single N64 game. We need to have like a mini PC. You can even see some weird glitches going on. You can hear it stutters. If you can't hear it, I tell you, it stutters like crazy. Wow. But this is the thing, like, why should you even like bother adding stuff to it that doesn't run anyway? Oh, there we go. Oh, and there it was. Alright, so let's see what happens when we're going to try some Neo Geo. So far so good, what you can see over here. Okay, so let's take a close look at Genesis, just for fun, and I already killed myself. But so far I can hear and see the game runs very well. Stretch up, baby! But let's do a quick teardown, and I just wanted to show you how this thing looks in the inside. So I think a little bit of a bummer is with this thing that beside it looks absolutely awesome when you're looking at just the model and what you can do with it. I found it a little bit bummer that we do have like not a great cooling solution. So just like a plastic fantastic situation over here, and that is something that we have seen before. It's not like always a bad thing, depending on what kind of chip they're using in the inside, and of course in combination with what kind of, like say, cooling they're using. And most of the time they're using like these very tiny cooling elements. Alright, let's remove the SD card to be sure. Let's see if we can open it up, or I need to pry it open, remove all of the screws. Sometimes they can still be stuck for even like in part of it. Now let's see, I can open it up like that. I need to open up the top part. Alright. And I'm always leaving the plastic on. I'm always leaving the plastic on. Okay, so the other part that we need to remove is this PCB. Then we can take a close look at the chipset. So what makes this thing kind of really special? Looks like we've reached the point that we're getting like more S905x3 chips. And they're like way better than the first generation we had with Super Console X. Man, this thing, I must say, like, when you're looking at the construction itself, they did a great job. Like everything has been put with multiple freaking screws or parkers. Kind of weird construction, having like two of these, let's say, big holes in here, but I think they're like, do they have like a function? Yeah, the plastic of the other part of the shell gum basically goes to here. Alright, let's remove it. I think it's stuck with the connector, but I think I can remove it very... Oh crap, I have a brain fart. There is still one screw in here! Alright, I think now I can remove it. So let's take a close look, and there's nothing much to see. Like the PCB is completely made like a brand new model. So I have like your W8 version 1.0. This has been made in 2022, so it's brand new mainboard. I think I can remove this. Let's get my pry tool. And I find it quite interesting to see like how they made everything. Alright, they're using these weird double-sided thermal tape. Freaking annoying. But we need to remove it to see what's in here, to make sure there's indeed an AM Logic S905x3. Alright, so it's in here. So that is like the description says, and the box and everything. But yeah, it looks like a weird interesting construction here. Like, I'm thinking this is the RAM module and the storage capacity. We're not using the storage capacity in the end. But it's a unique PCB, a very unique one. But yeah. But this is what we're going to get inside the machine. Another thing I just wanted to show you is the way how they made a light up feature in the case. Yeah, I think it's pretty damn cool to have like this kind of a LED strip idea. But you're basically going to get are all like different LEDs that light up when booting up the system. So this H6 box does have something new to bring to the table, especially when it comes to the casing. The overall quality is not bad at all. The emulation performance, it's a mix, simply because we do have limitations when it comes to the chipset. I wish they added some better cooling, like an active cooling fan in it. But that's it, like, it's not bad at all. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this, what do you think of the model, and it would be great to see you in the next video.